Hello everyone, it is Lynch Pin coming at you here with another cake review video. I've improved the lighting in this one, as you can see. In my Battenberg one I had pointed the camera in a different direction and it made it very difficult to show off the different colour parts of the cake that I was doing. So I was asked to do a review of Jaffa cakes. I was asked to eat one of these and explain how I thought it was made, and again I haven't been reading the ingredients, I haven't looked at them in advance. I decided to use McVitie's because they are the original, the OG Jaffa cake, and in my opinion they're the nicest. If you want to learn more about Jaffa cakes, I really recommend you check out the Wikipedia article that goes into that debacle about whether a Jaffa cake is a cake or a biscuit, because it's called a cake but it's sold in the biscuit aisle, and there actually is a tax difference between a chocolate cake and a chocolate biscuit. Crack open this pack of Jaffa cakes. Yeah. I love McVitie's Jaffa cakes. Holding this in my fingers makes me think of that Jaffa Cakes advert. Did you ever see it? It's like full moon, half moon, total eclipse.
Full moon.
Full moon.
Half moon.
Half moon.
Total eclipse.
Total eclipse.
This is a Jaffa cake. As you can see, it's chocolatey on one side, and on the other side it's spongy. And underneath the chocolate bits here, you can see there's a bump on the top. That's because there's a bit of orange flavoured jam underneath. Actually, according to the Wikipedia article, it is jam, not jelly. So jelly is set with gelatine, and in the article it says jam. So I'm going to guess then that this is set with pectin, not gelatine. I could be wrong. But that's the difference between a jam and a jelly. Jelly is set with gelatine, jam is set with pectin. Can you hear that? I reckon this is a chocolate flavour coating, which means it's just varying vegetable fats and sugar and cocoa powder. I don't think this is actual chocolate, because chocolate has to be made with cocoa butter, not vegetable fat. And sponge. This looks like a very typical fatless sponge. As you can see, it's very soft. So let's give it a bite. Half moon. This would be very difficult to break into individual pieces. As a kid, I used to try and eat the chocolate off, peel the jelly out, and then eat the spongy bit. That's actually really difficult to do with McVitie's Jaffa cakes. With cheapo knockoff Jaffa cakes, yeah, you can totally do that, but with this, it's sort of one continuous thing. The elements of them are kind of blended together quite nicely, so it's difficult to take it apart, unlike other brands of Jaffa cake. But I'll try. Okay, got a bit of chocolate. Chocolate's very dark. Very dark. And as I said earlier, I reckon that's a vegetable fat chocolate coating rather than a natural chocolate. And here is the orange flavoured jelly. Paddy, who you've seen on the channel, had a friend in college who had like a phobia of the jelly bit inside of Jaffa cakes. Even though it's a jam, you can see I've actually managed to peel it off in one piece. To me that looks like jelly. It looks like a piece of jelly, even though it says it's classified as jam. I call that jelly. Very firm to bite on it. It's very pleasant orange flavour that's not sour. So that's orange oil flavoured, I reckon. And there's the sponge cake bit. It's just very plain. Like, remember what I was saying in the previous Battenberg video? That's white on the inside. So I reckon again that's like an egg white based. Cake is really bland and boring by itself. It doesn't have anywhere near the character flavour as the Mr. Kipling sponge. So let's check the old ingredients, shall we? I'm just going to take this out. There's 2 packets in here. Where the hell is it? I don't have the ingredients. Oh, here are the ingredients. So the ingredients are on the bottom of the pack in this particular case. 20 light sponge cakes with a dark, crackly chocolate and a smashing orangey centre. Doesn't say if it's a jam or a jelly, it just says it's the centre. And yeah, it was a very dark chocolate. Oh, I was wrong. There's cocoa butter. There's cocoa butter in the chocolate, which means that it can actually be classified as chocolate and not chocolate flavour coating. So yes, the plain chocolate is sugar, cocoa mass, vegetable fats, butter, oil, cocoa butter, and emulsifiers and natural flavouring. So yeah, it can be classified as actual chocolate. The first ingredient of this is fructose glucose syrup. You know you're in for a good treat when the first ingredient is liquid sugar. The gelling agent is pectin. Yeah, so it's jam. It's not jelly. So I was right on that. I get 1 point, but I get a point against me for the chocolate. If you wanted to make these yourself, you need to use dark chocolate, and you need to thin it out a little bit with some solid vegetable fat. But those are the fats that are used in this to make the chocolatey coating crack. To make the orangey bit, you're probably best to go buy some orange marmalade and without bits in it, and then cook it until it's thickened, rather than using orange flavoured jelly crystals. Now again, it's completely up to preference, but this doesn't have gelatine in it, it just has pectin. So maybe you can use a vegetarian jelly crystals, like orange flavoured jelly. And the sponge cake is, I reckon, a simple eggs whisked with sugar mixed with a little bit of flour and then piped out. So you get yourself a piping bag, you just fit it in and pipe individual little rounds. And as I've said in the French Fancies one, it's very difficult to completely recreate the environment in which these are made at home. You'll never be able to 100% get it exactly tasting like the packet because you don't have the same supplier of ingredients, you don't have the same recipe. So you can only approximate, you can never get it exactly right. I watched a how it's made video about cupcakes, and I'll link it below. And in the video they showed the oven that the cakes are made in, and the oven actually has different zones of temperature in it. So the cakes, as they're travelling through the oven, are cooked at different temperatures at different rates for different amounts of time. Whereas if you're doing that at home, it's just not going to happen like that. You're going to bung it in the oven at 180 degrees Celsius and forget about it until you smell them burning. That's probably what you're going to do. I now have to resist the urge to eat 2 full packets of Jaffa cakes. When I bought these in Dunnes stores, the 20 pack was only 5 cents more expensive than the 10 pack, so go figure. So that was my Jaffa Cakes review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any more cake related, review questions or just how it's made questions, leave a comment in the section below. You can also go to the Sweetie Pie Bakes Facebook page, link is in the description box, and leave a comment there. Or you can follow her on Twitter at SweetiePieLMK and tweet your question there. So there's lots of different ways to get in touch with your questions. But until next time, take care everyone.